Hello everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Horticultural Hells. Hope you're having a wonderful day. It's been sunny around here, so I've been doing a bit of gardening. So to start with on this episode, just about here, or maybe this side, I'm going to put a listing of when I'm going to do things. This is so that you can skip to that specific time in the video if you're here for that specific thing. If not, watch it all the way through and maybe drop a like and subscribe. But it's just so then if people come to the video, it's just easier to skip through to the right bit for you. Anyway, I'm going to get on with the rest of the video. And to start with, I'm going to be planting out these beauties, my lettuces. So as I just said, the next thing I'll do is the lettuces. Now these are quite simple, and as I've said before, I have done these a few times. But just to reiterate what I've previously done, what you want to do is to take a trowel and then go around. I tend to go around in a circle just to the size of the hole you want, and dig a hole. Excuse me. Right. Then what you want, oops, sorry, is your lettuce plants. Now as you see, I have done these in plug trays, and what you want to do is just to go around the plant and then gently go in one side as deep as you can, and then just gently, keep knocking the camera, just gently tease it up. Then put it in the hole. If you've done like me, if you've dug it a bit deep, put in a little bit of soil, that'll do. Then just backfill around the plant, like so, just firm around the base, just so it keeps it upright, and then just dress it off with a little bit more soil. Alright, that's that one done. So I'm now going to time lapse through the whole row, and I shall see you in a minute. So next up, I'm just going to do a quick overview of what's been going on in the garden. So as you can see by the shots I'm showing you now, these are the tomatoes, and actually they've nearly started growing out of this top window, which is very, very good. Some of them are just going to follow the glass, so hopefully they'll come up to the top here. So they're growing massive, and then at the same time they're producing lovely red tomatoes. Now, there aren't that many, and that's because we've just picked a load and had them with our lunch. And so there aren't that many that are ripe. But we've also got beef steaks that are starting to come up, and they're going quite high as well. And the cucumbers are now nearly at the top of the canes, so I'll have to take the tops out of them soon. And we're getting loads of little cucumbers. Now these will be ready to pick within a week or so. And under here, under all the leaves, these are our competition chilies. And these are what we're going to be singling out next. And we do have a couple, this and this is actually a sweet pepper rather than an actual chili pepper. And then we have 1, 2, 3 melons that are starting to produce some little melons now. And that's it for in the greenhouse. So coming outside the greenhouse now, we are getting massive courgettes like this. Now the reason they're all wrinkly, if you do find this is because it's what's known as erratic watering. So if you water them and then don't water them, then they grow all crinkly. But the same isn't for these type of courgettes, to the roundy ones, which are nearly the size of my index finger. Same as those. And then in here, that's a baby Uchiki curry. And these I've been starting to tie up now. So these I've tied up on here, I've got, because they're growing so tall, I've got to tie a couple more up. And then these will go to the top of the canes. These are my runner beans. They're starting at last to bunch out a little bit, which has taken a while, but they get there. And then over here we have all my potatoes. They're growing lovely. And then this side we have our French beans. Now sadly, one of them did die, it didn't survive. But these others have, and they're growing strong. And then we have our few little carrots just here. And then the onions. And the peas. And then we have my lettuces in here. These along this edge are the radishes. And so I'll have to thin them out a little bit at some point. These are my outdoor cucumbers. And then we have my broad beans and the lettuces I just planted. So next up, I'm going to show you how I sow celeriac. Or pot on, sorry. How I pot on. So next up, I'm going to show you how I pot on celeriac. So what I've done is I've filled a plug tray with compost. And I've just got that piece of wood there, and that just firms the compost down a little bit. And what I'm going to do next is just put a little bit more on the top. Just firm the tops down a little bit more. By firming the tops, what you do is you make the plant force its roots through the soil. And so by doing that, you get a stronger plant because the roots are therefore slightly stronger because they need more energy to get through the plant, through the soil, Whereas if you have looser soil, it takes up less energy, so the plant feels, oh, I don't need to force as many roots out because it's so easy to get through the soil. And so you get a slightly weaker plant. So now I've done that, what I'm going to do is I've got a small little bit of wire here, a wire hook. Actually, no, I don't. So what I've got here, just next up, what I've got here is I've got a piece of cane. Take that out of the way. And I'm just going to make a hole roughly in the centre of the plug. And then, once I've done all of them, you can use a dibbing tool for this, but I'm just using slightly smaller plants. I thought I'd use slightly smaller holes. So then what you want to do, which this is the first time I've tried this, I've got a small spoon. And so usually, as you've seen in some of the other videos, I use this. But if you look at the size of it, in comparison, this is really massive, and then when you're trying to cut around a plant, it's really unwieldy. So I thought, I'll try using a spoon. So all you want to do, if I just move that to one side. So these are my celeriac. What you want to do is pick a plant, then gently cut her with the spoon, gently cut around the plant, and then with the spoon just gently, without, try not to touch roots, just try and leave the plant out, pop it in your little hole. Oh, I got two there. Put it in the hole. Little bit more compost, just to dress off. Like so. And there's two little celeriac plants. As I've said in previous videos, if you do think that these look a little bit limp, don't worry about it. They will perk up in the next couple days. as long as you keep watering them. And that's it. That's all you got to do. Right, I am going to time lapse through the rest. I shall see you in a moment. So thank you very much for watching this episode of Horticultural Hails. If you have enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. But better yet, join me next week for another episode of Horticultural Hails, and please keep growing those gardens.